lunch. Today we've got a Carron on the road episode. Last summer, Svele and I were so blessed to be able to spend 9 days in Norway. And it was amazingly beautiful. Just like you think when you see the pictures, it was incredible. Anyway, we got to try a few different things. I tried whale for the first time. But one of the cool things we found were these things called Norwegian Svele, or Sveler for plural. And they're little, they're just almost like, they call them griddle cakes, kind of like a pancake, that we found in coffee houses. They're also a staple that you can buy on some of the ferries. And they're typically served with a really heavily sweetened butter, or this stuff called Norwegian brown cheese. Norwegian legend has it that long before we had a lot of refrigeration, milk used to go sour. And so they would mix it with the flour and the sugar and the eggs and stuff and make these griddle cakes. And the griddle cakes can last for a couple of days. So they had them in snacks, put them in lunch boxes or whatever. We're going to use buttermilk. And that legend's probably pretty close to the truth. Let me tell you what the Svele filling is. When we were sitting in this coffee shop in Norway, we ordered the griddle cake. They slathered it with this sweetened butter. The butter was so sweet you could still taste and feel the little granules of sugar in it. And then it's folded in half. So I'm going to make butter with granulated sugar, but I'm going to add a little brown sugar in there because I want some of that caramel flavor to come through. The other thing they were served with was this stuff called Norwegian brown cheese. So in Norway, up in the fjords and the hills, the goats go roaming for the summer. And what they do is they take the goat's milk and the cow's milk and they caramelize it. They cook it down so that the milk gets caramelized. So this has got a nice sweet flavor. It's not like sweet and cream cheese or sweet cheese like that, but it's got a nice sweet caramel flavor to it. Usually served thinly sliced on toast, or in this case on the Svele. We saw it on every breakfast buffet that we were on, and we went to when we were in Norway. And they even serve it in savory applications too. So I've got a little chunk of brown cheese here. And the other interesting fact is, you know those cheese slicers that have the holes in them, the little round tip things? Those were invented by a guy in Norway to cut the brown cheese. If you've ever made homemade pancakes, this probably sort of looks familiar to you. I've got flour, sugar, eggs, a little baking soda, some melted butter, and some buttermilk. And then we've got our sugars for the butter. This is, you can see, is still fairly hard, even though it's been sitting out at room temperature. I'm going to pop it in the microwave for like 10 seconds so it's nice and soft. I can mix that together. And then, of course, our beautiful Norwegian brown cheese. We've got our beautiful plate of Sveler here. That's plural. This is a Svele. These are Sveler. See how the butter is just not melted yet? That's what you want. See what happens when I put the butter on one that was too hot still? It just melted and created this separation of the sugar and the butter, and that's not what you want. These are finger food. You pick them up. They're supposed to be sort of room temperature. These are still too hot to fill with the rest of the butter. But I filled some of these with the brown cheese. See all that? So, brown cheese, sugar, any way you want it, they're delicious. Thanks for tuning in to a Carron on the Road episode from our trip to Norway, and we'll catch you next week.